Hello, hello. Welcome to Stats Facts. My name is Jenny Gardner, and I hope you're ready to explore some stats concepts. Remember, there are a ton of fun, awesome resources to find in our academic support platform under the Resources tab at the top. So don't be afraid to explore and learn. From the minds of academic support, today I bring to you the 5-number summary. The 5-number summary is one way to interpret the spread of data from the center. But what center should you use? Choosing the best measure of central tendency helps you to decide. For non-symmetric, skewed data that is pulled in one direction like tug of war, the median stays in the center. It is skew resistant to skew. So that makes it a good focus for our center of skewed data. The 5-number summary focuses on the median as its partner to break down the spread of the data. For symmetric data, the mean is a better measure, and you would use the empirical rule to describe it. So check out our empirical rule video for more info or any of our resources on the concept. Focusing on the 5-number summary, it's all about quartiles or quarters of data. It's dividing the data into 4 sections, but let's look at that more closely. So I have here a simplified box plot without any numbers on it. A box plot is just a graph that you can use to describe data. We're going to use this to look at the 5-number summary. We start on the left. So all the way over here, we have the minimum value, which makes the one all the way over here on the right your maximum. So you always start your 5-number summary with your minimum value and your maximum value. They're going to be on the outsides of your 5 numbers you're going to use to describe the data. In the very middle is the median. And if you remember how to find median, it is just the center value. If you put all the numbers in order, it's the middle one. I'm also going to show you how to find it in Excel. But we also have the ends of our box here. On the left and the right of the box, those are values too. So on the left, this is called quartile 1. And on the right, it's called quartile 3. And you might be wondering where quartile 2 went. Well, quartile 2 is the median. So just to be clear where everything is, we've got the quartile 1, the quartile 2 is in the middle, and then quartile 3 is at the end of the box. The maximum value all the way to the right, minimum value all the way to the left. Now this is just a drawing. So what are we talking about? We're talking about data. We're talking about numbers. You have a big list of numbers, however many that might be, 10, 100, 1,000. You put the numbers in order, you find the median in the center. You put the numbers in order, you find the smallest and the largest. And that gets you your min and your max. The quartiles are the middle of the middle. So quartile 1 is the middle between the minimum and the median. Quartile 3 is the middle between the median and the max. Why is this important? Well, in the middle here, if we talk about looking at between the 2 quartiles right here, that is 50% of the data. 50% of the data is in the middle between Q1 and Q3. Whatever those numbers are, 50% of the data approximately is found in between those values. Additionally, if we looked from the median to the end, that's 50%. So if we wanted the top 50%, we could focus on to the right of the median. If we wanted the bottom 50%, we could focus to the left of the median. The median splits it 50-50, like the mean does for symmetric. But we said that the middle here is 50%. So what percentage do you think is on either side? Take a second and pause and think about it. Well, if we look to the right of Q3 over here, beyond this is the top 25, because like I said, it's quarters. So if the middle's 50, there's 25 left on the right and 25% of the data on the left. So this is the bottom 25. So these quartiles tell you a lot of information about the data. Let's look how to find them. Okay, so this is my data, just a random set of numbers here. It doesn't have a lot, it has like 18 numbers. If I select them, I can find the minimum and the maximum. So if I select this at the bottom, it tells me my count, it tells I have 18. It also adds it up, it says I have 77, and it tells me the average. You can find that information right off the bat. The average being the mean, but we want these values, right? We want the 5 numbers that we need, the min, Q1, median, Q3, and minimum. This is supposed to say maximum, but we'll do that in a second. So if I put these in order, then at the right, I have a sort and filter button. And I'm going to just sort it from smallest to largest. And when I do, the minimum is 1. Scroll down, the maximum is 9. That's the highest number. So the maximum is 9. The minimum is 1. But we can find the quartiles very easily with Excel as well. Let's start with the median. Every formula in Excel needs an equal sign, equals median, and then it wants us to select our data. Okay, I've selected from A2 to A19. Perfect, that's all my numbers. I hit enter, and it tells me the middle number is 4.5. And that's because these two are the middles. We have 18 numbers, there's 2 middles. If you average them out, you get 4.5. Quartile is just simply equals quartile. And then again, it wants you to select your data. But you also then have to write a comma and tell it quartile 1, okay? Because this is the same thing that you'll need to do for quartile 3. With quartile 1, if I hit enter, I find 2. 2 is the middle of these 2 points based on the order of the numbers. And again, same thing here, equals quartile, select the data, but this time, instead of the 1 I used here, I'm going to use 3 for quartile 3. And when I hit enter, I see that 5.75 is the middle of these 2 values. Somewhere in here, 2 values that even out to 5.75. Awesome. So what I see now is that I have my 5-number summary. 1, 2, 4.5, 5.75, and 9. So 50% of my data is between 2 and 5.75. So let's go look at that. So our values are 1, 2, 4.5, 5.75. See how I got all those? And then the last one is 9. 9. Those are my values for this 5-number summary. So 50% of the middle 50% is between 2 and 5.75. All of it is between 1 and 9, 100%. The top 25% of my data is between 5.75 and 9. And the lower bottom 25% is below 2. So any point along here I can use to describe my 25%. I can describe 50%, 25, anything related to 25. That's what the 5-number summary does. Okay. So do you think that's everything you need to know about the 5-number summary, everything you need to know about statistics? You're done now, median and quartiles, you've mastered it forever, it's conquered, and now you are the master of all statistics forever? No, never. Everyone is always learning. This is one building block on which you can learn and grow and put new concepts to use as you encounter new ideas. So keep learning and keep growing. Thank you for watching Academic Support Guide to the 5-number summary. Check out more of our videos and resources on SNHU's academic support platform, or perhaps look in the video description below. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.